What is up, guys? It is your man Evil Dre here, coming at you with another Call of Duty Black Ops 6 video. Now, I don't know if it's just me. I've been playing Call of Duty for quite some time now, and I know for a fact that when a double XP weekend comes, if I'm grinding, or even if I'm just putting in that work from game to game, I should be leveling up relatively quickly. They did this week-long, essentially, well, not week-long, but I guess you could say extended double XP event in Black Ops 6. I know they really did it for player retention numbers to be up so they could go ahead and pat themselves on the back for that. But in the same breath, also, I know they also was doing it so everybody can get this magical sense of feeling involved towards the community challenge for, I believe, was like something 50 billion kills or some shit like that, which we all know we're gonna magically hit towards the end, because personally I don't think anybody ever had any doubt that Call of Duty wasn't gonna fabricate the numbers, because they always fabricate something. And then it kind of got me thinking, does anybody else find it weird that even though it's double XP, it feels like you're getting less XP than when you would pop tokens? Now, I remember when they first started putting tokens in the game, the double XP tokens, I personally feel like they were best done in Infinite Warfare, where after you finished the game, you had the opportunity to pop a double XP token and dictate how much XP you got. That means if you got a deatomizer strike, you could flip that and turn that deatomizer strike into fucking almost 100,000 XP at some point. But for some awkward reason, in this game, I'm noticing that, like, I'm just not breezing through the prestiges like I thought I would. Now, I've been playing COD long enough to understand that, of course, the later levels and the prestiges that you get is going to take a little bit longer. But if there is double XP and, you know, I'm putting up decent numbers. I'm not like, you feel me, going 100-0, but I'm not doing bad really. Like I said in the last video, you know what I'm saying, I just been trying to breeze through the ranks. So like I said, when like I mentioned in the past video, when I told you my friend had basically, you know, been 2-boxing, I've been definitely reaping the benefits. So I've been able to play the game and have fun and actually attempt to level up. But I have been noticing that there's some inconsistencies. For some reason, I'm not getting double XP. It's feeling like that, like it's taking forever for me to level up. And I don't know what exactly it is. It seems like it changes from game to game, even though I put in the same amount of work from game to game. And it kind of just got me wondering. I've been hearing a lot of people recently talk about skill-based XP rate. And who's to say that that wouldn't be a thing at this point? I mean, if you really think about it, every time that we've assumed that somebody was just talking bullshit and it wasn't real, what has happened down the line? For example, who remembers back when Modern Warfare 2019 came out, and almost any competent player who's been playing COD was able to immediately tell they had skill-based matchmaking in the game? I remember Modern Warfare 2019 was where people first found out, after not having to do this shit for a while, might I add. But it was the Call of Duty where everybody first found out that if you kill yourself a bunch, the game will think that you're dog shit and put you in much more chill, relaxed lobbies to get gameplays and actually go off and shit like that, right? It's just insane to me. And remember how everybody just tried to kind of ignore us? At that point in time, it was skill issue, get good, you can't adapt to the game, yada yada. How ironic is it that the year after that, when Cold War came out, some of these content creators who were doubting that skill-based was ever in the game changed their entire opinions? Because if I remember correctly, I remember around that time we had YouTubers such as Drifter and Exclusive Ace, you know, the data guys who usually look into shit and tell us whether or not, you know, shit is going a certain way or not. Cold War was the year they found out that skill-based matchmaking affects your ping, which ironically enough, I feel like a lot of us kind of figured that out back in Modern Warfare 2019, because one, everybody realized that the better you did, the longer the queue times were, and it took almost all day to find a game. And then in the same breath, you also started to notice the inconsistencies. Modern Warfare 2019 had a faster time to kill than Cold War, and I even found myself noticing that, like, some games I'm melting people, other games I'm getting a shit ton of hit markers. In a game with a fast TTK, there shouldn't be many hit markers. Everybody should be dying quick. And to me, it's just crazy because each and every year, we basically come closer and closer and closer to realizing that everybody needs to stop white knighting for Activision. Stop assuming that they can do no wrong. A perfect example, let's talk about the whole skill-based matchmaking talk. Remember how for like 2019 to Cold War to Vanguard to Modern Warfare 2, everybody was complaining about how cranked up the skill-based was. Because honestly, anybody with common sense can see nobody is gonna enjoy any of these thirsty ass games because the matchmaking is always cranked to the top. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm sick and tired of the people who always wanna, well, you know, you can always go and play something else. You don't have to play Call of Duty. Well, guess what? Maybe I want to play Call of Duty, but maybe I can't play Call of Duty like I want to because all the bullshit that they have in the background is hampering my experience. And here's the thing that's funny, right? Everybody who wanted to, well, just get good. You just can't adapt. You can't adapt. How the fuck can you adapt to the game nerfing you mid-game? You know, it's funny. I remember even though I didn't make a video about it, when I first played Modern Warfare 2019, I remember I was the first one to call out, bro, I feel like something is off with the game. I started seeing those packet burst symbols, and then all of a sudden I would notice that, like, throughout the game, it would be some people who I could kill easily, and then it would be some people who would require extra bullets. Feel like I was just mag dumping their ass. And what did I get called when I called this shit out back in 2019? I got called ass. I got called dog shit. I got called washed. I got called terrible because I called out some shit that later on in time wind up being true. But let's go back to that skill-based matchmaking talk real quick. Now, 4 CODs in a row, Reddit's was just filled with everybody talking about, can you guys talk about skill-based matchmaking? Can you acknowledge that it's there? And then Modern Warfare 3 comes out, and they finally decide to address it. Of course, they didn't address it off the rip, but they finally decided to address it. And what happened when they finally addressed the skill-based matchmaking? First off, they basically played down a lot of everything that people were saying. But if you really paid close attention to the way that they answered the questions, it was really just lawyer talk. See, the thing is, the way that they be changing everybody's experience, it could low-key cost them a lot of money if people were to make a lawsuit against it. So what did they do? When they were faced with adversity, you know what I'm saying, all they decided to do was answer the questions kind of indirect. Everybody was asking, you know, does the game favor engagement optimized matchmaking, which basically means determining how much you're going to play the game based on the experience you're having. They kind of denied it, and they said that the matchmaking has nothing to do with that. But then in the same breath, it kind of hit me. If the matchmaking has nothing to do with keeping people engaged, then why is it that you could go a whole week of playing every single day and your lobbies are thirsty 24/7? Everybody slide canceling, jumping, you playing on high pings 24/7. But if engagement optimized matchmaking has nothing to do with the actual matchmaking and it has nothing to do with what they do, why is it that if you take a break from COD for a few days and come back to it, you're getting, I would say, egregiously less sweaty lobbies? Explain that to me. Why is it that if you play the game more, you're faced with more sweaty lobbies, but if you play the game less, the game throws you a bone? Whether it be for a couple of games, maybe it could even be for half an hour. You never really know for real. But it's like they try to figure out, okay, is he going to keep playing? Okay, we see where he stands skill-wise. Is he going to keep playing? If not, let's throw him a few good lobbies so he can stay on. But if he's finna get off the game, then let's just immediately throw them in sweaty lobbies nonstop. And then that also brings me to my next thing. I will forever stand on the fact that if Warzone did not blow up back in 2019, we would not have any of the issues that we have in COD nowadays. You see, I thought about this. I've even talked about this with my friends before, but if Call of Duty 2019, you know, Modern Warfare 2019 came out and they did not bring Warzone out, I genuinely think that game would have flopped. Everybody hated that game. And of course, it was a bunch of new generation COD players that loved that game because they didn't know about what it was like to play Call of Duty where you had dead silence as a perk, where you could actually rush around the game, where people weren't camping every spot with fucking claymores and shit. Like that shit, these new generation COD players don't know that type of shit exists. And it's insane to me how once Warzone popped off, everybody started talking about how great Modern Warfare 2019 was. Take them rose-tinted glasses off because that game was dog shit. It had excellent hit detection when you weren't getting fucked over by the skill base, but beyond that, that game was terrible. You couldn't move around in that game. That game basically supported the Sentinel campy bitch ass playstyle. And on top of that, every map in that game was a clusterfuck where you could get shot from every which angle. But for some reason, we believe that game is a top 5 COD nowadays. I don't believe that bullshit, but for some reason, people believe that. It throws me off. And then it kind of got me thinking, we should actually be happy right now, because ever since the Black Ops 6 iteration of Warzone has come out, there's actually been a lot of people who's been disliking Warzone. And it kind of got me thinking, if everybody starts to dislike Warzone, and if Black Ops 6 is the year where everybody just says, fuck it, we're not going to play this shit anymore, maybe, just maybe, there's a solid chance that Call of Duty might have a chance of being better. And another hot take, and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with this, and I understand if you don't, I think we were better off with loot boxes. Give me loot boxes 10 times out of 10 over the skill-based shit. Cause it's funny, cause like even though I 2-box with my friend, even though my friend 2-boxes and I join, either way it go, I'm still joining in. I don't give no fuck. I'm gonna have fun stomping lobbies. But I've noticed that when you run into certain players that have skins out the store, they tank bullets. It was weird. The other day I was playing this match on Nuketown, and that controversial shark skin, the Australian shark skin that everybody was talking about, right? Somebody had that in my lobby. I was basically running down their entire enemy team, and then every time I saw this specific player, I would beam him, and then all of a sudden I noticed like the time to kill was just not consistent. And the way that any competent Call of Duty player knows that the TTK is being fucked with is if all of a sudden you're melting people, and then all of a sudden it takes more bullets to kill certain players. On top of that, I think that we as a community just need to understand that, you know, they've been prioritizing BR for the longest. And I know deep down inside I want to blame Fortnite for that. But at the end of the day, it's like Call of Duty didn't have to follow what Fortnite was doing. They just wanted to follow the trend. And that's the problem. Call of Duty lost this identity trying to be basically whatever's popular in the time. And then this is how we ended up in the situation we in now. Call of Duty is a great game. It's a competitive game. But at the end of the day, we also need to realize Activision has been fucking everybody over. With all that being said, guys, my name is Evil Dre. Smacking lobs is my hobby. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.